My name is Brian Whiteknife. I've been working with the Regional Environmental Action Committee on their plastics remanufacture project as part of the Community Service Learning Program offered through the University of Alberta.
I will be sharing some highlights taken from the full-length interview, which can be found on our REAC YouTube channel.
I came across precious plastics, and it was a wealth of knowledge and easy to understand. And so I took that model and just tried to explore it further. And I just started using some household appliances just to start and see what we'd be able to produce. And quickly realized that you can do quite a bit with plastic. Then it just slowly evolved into purchasing small scale precious plastic equipment like a shredder and a small scale injection machine. And those were purchased from Citizen Scientific Workshop out of Idaho. So they're great small scale pieces of equipment that has helped us continue to prove the concept. And so now what we do is we work with municipalities, businesses, and people to divert their plastic waste from landfills and transform it into 100% recycled plastic products. The plastic fumes that are created while working with it.
Should you notice any fumes?
Yeah, absolutely. And working with the injection machine, you can control the temperature, which is great. So you just find the melting index for the type of plastic that you're working with and just make it melt as opposed to burning it. But even then, there's still some off gassing just when you're melting it. So for me, I try to, well, I do wear a respirator, but it's in my garage. So, I'll open the garage door to get some ventilation. But in terms of an actual ventilation system, there's nothing off the shelf that you can just go and buy for your small workshop or your garage to help further the plastic initiative. So for me, that is a big challenge. And early on when I was just starting to work with plastics, I could smell some fumes and, I was like, okay, these are some toxic chemicals. Like I need to protect myself. And so it was just like, I just have a respirator. However, looking back in 20 years, I'll be like, oh, that respirator wasn't nearly enough. If we're working in the garage or a small workshop, and if you do have that ventilation system where, you have the duct running and exhaust overhead, it's going to be like a permanent structure where there's not much flexibility. That's something that I'm looking forward to, is working with mechanical consultants to design a mobile ventilation unit. Everything starts off with I call it just a proof of concept. Can we solve my challenge? And if it's my challenge, then how many other people have this challenge or similar challenges? The precious plastics community is such a tight-knit group where people are willing to communicate with others, talk about some challenges and successes, and it's going to be a very collaborative approach to solving this. And
so when did you realize that we need to transform the way that we manage plastics?
We have 3 young kids, and just to see the amount of plastic that comes from having a young family, that's where it started to pique my interest more towards just plastic waste and how that's being handled. I think there's a big opportunity to look at how we're currently handling plastic waste and see that the blue bag program, it may have worked decades ago, but now what we're seeing is a younger generation that wants to see how plastics are handled now. There's a lot of focus on the handling of plastic at the end of its life cycle. So we're also starting to see policies come into place, such as the extended producer responsibility. And Alberta is the last province to adopt this policy. But I think there's a big opportunity to look at how we're handling plastic waste, whether it's on a small scale and we're able to commercialize that into a much larger operation. I think what we're doing is just showing the potential to handle plastic different. And there's been some comments, like, oh, this guy's gonna change the world out of his garage. Like, talk to us when he's really handling some large volumes. What this is just showing is, with a different perspective and different partners, we're able to at least come up with a strategy to handle plastics differently.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Corey.
Thanks so much for taking time and including me in this awesome project that you guys are launching.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this interview with Corey Saban. For more info, check out our full interviews. Thanks again for watching, and take care.